Salute, salute, salute. It's your boy T-Bone Blast on the check-in with the second episode of Talking That Talk Tuesdays. I ain't been with y'all in the last two Tuesdays. The Tuesday before last, I got caught up into something. You know what I mean? I ain't going front. I'm slipping. You know what I mean? It was too early to be missing out on episodes because I did say that I would do this shit every Tuesday. So that one was on me. Last Tuesday, I have a fucking toothache. Literally, that shit was killing me. And I still was gonna try it, but it wasn't gonna happen. I ended up going to the dentist, getting my shit fixed up. Had a little toothache back here, they put the filling, did what they had to do. So now it's back to business. Welcome to the second episode of Talking That Talk Tuesdays. I will do my best to be more consistent. As promised, every Tuesday, Talking That Talk Tuesday will commence, will be aired and all that. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into today's story, let me first put y'all on to my upcoming podcast called Listen to the Bars, where I am going to be featuring rappers from all over, different boroughs, different states, all that. And they're going to be spitting freestyles. No beats, no hooks, just straight lyricism, straight bars. That's why it's called Listen to the Bars. And that's going to be coming out soon, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm going to make history with that one. But anyway, as for this one, I'm going to talk about, we're going to bring it back to C74, 1994, where the Brooklyn brothers was going at it with the Muslim brothers. And it started over, you know how somebody is just cool with people? They not like that, but they just happen to be cool with the right motherfuckers. Like, for instance, this person get into something. He alright, but it ain't enough to make me want to go out with him. But you and him is cool like that. So you get into it, and just so happen me and you is peoples. So it's like a domino effect. So now I get into it because of you. You get into it because of him. And next thing you know, it's all, everybody getting, everybody done got involved. So this particular situation is like that. And it started with this kid named Shorty Brooklyn. I don't know what came of him. I don't know where he at these days. Shout out to Shorty Brooklyn. I know he used to claim East New York, but he was really from Starrett City, which is by East New York. That's not East New York. And East New York, them East New York boys don't say that's East New York, you know what I mean? But it's nearby, so he was saying he's from East New York. And I thought that's where he was from until I found out he was from Starrett. But me and him was all right. We ain't had no, we wasn't peoples. We was all right. So, and we was all right through other motherfuckers. That was my peoples. That was cool with him. Anyway, he gets a call. No, he makes a call home. His cousin got murdered. He finds out his cousin got murdered. I hear he's wilding. He slammed the phone, broke the phone, you know what I mean? Dudes rushed him, put hands on him for about 20 seconds till he had a chance to explain, oh, they killed my cousin, he killed my, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is you doing breaking the phone? Like, you know what I mean? From what I hear. So now, the dude that killed his cousin, who he said, you know, he knew the dude too. I guess they all from around the same way. He also heard that the dude got knocked for it. He also knew that the dude was a kid. He was, you know, adolescent like all of us. And since there's only one adolescent building, he knew that that dude would be coming to the 4 building. So, all right, cool. So, you know, all right, a couple days later, you hear that it went down in Muslim service. At the time, I'm in the Bing serving a little 30 days. A little 30 days in the Bing. So, like, I wasn't out in population for this. But I'm hearing everything that's happening. I'm hearing shit, you know, I'm hearing about this stupid shit or whatever. But what happened, Shorty Brooklyn went to Muslim service as we all used to do. We used to go there when we was in the Bing, especially just to get out ourselves, or even if we in population and we want to see somebody from another house, yo, go to Muslim service, you know what I'm saying? All you had to do was, you know, just go down there. You see your peoples and all that. But we used to, you know, the Muslims just be in, they, you know, doing what they do, and we be in the bathroom somewhere doing what we do. I remember one time we was in the bathroom, we was blowing it down, we smoking bud. We not even where they at, but we in the bathroom or where, you know, it's next to where they at. I remember this old ass Muslim motherfucker, he came in there, he was like, he was old, I'm talking about he had to be like 70. You know what I mean? You could tell he was a smoker. You know what I mean? Probably before he got locked up. So he comes in and he say, y'all smoking reefers? Y'all smoking reefers? I swear to God, he said it just like that. He said, if I catch anybody in a masjid smoking reefers, I'm going to get a couple of brothers and myself, and we going to beat the hell out of you. Like, he had like a southern accent too. Word, real shit. Yo, how we just started busting out laughing. That shit was hilarious. He ended up leaving the bathroom going in. We thought he was coming back with some brothers. He ain't ever come back. That was just, you know, but like, we did like real shit. Dudes didn't really know the significance of what they was doing, of what we was doing. Like, real shit. Like, that's disrespectful. But we all young. We looking at it as, all right, we not thinking like that. We like, yo, we gonna go smoke in the masjid. We, you know what I mean? We not thinking that. But we know we doing something we not supposed to do as far as the jailhouse rules. But we didn't think nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? And I think Shorty Brooklyn had the same frame of mind when he pulled the move that he pulled. He actively go on to Muslim service. And look who he see. He see the dude that killed it, who he say, you know, who got locked up for killing his cousin. So immediately, it was on sight. Just so happened, this same motherfucker took his shahada that day. He ain't waste no time. He took his shahada that day. If he came through the 4 building on a Tuesday, that Friday he was in the masjid taking his shahada. Real shit. He ain't played no games. Like, and I doubt he ain't believe in Allah that quick. So you know what it's hitting for as far as that go. But now, as far as Shorty Brooklyn, again, he violated. You don't try to get at no Muslim or nobody for that matter in their place of worship. Are you crazy? But at that time, again, dudes is teenagers. You know you violating prison rules. You ain't thinking nothing of, oh, this is and I'm gonna give Shorty Brooklyn that. I really don't think, but that didn't excuse the ass whipping that he got right after that. He scratched the kid, yeah, but the Muslims was on. He lucky he didn't get shot. At least right then. They beat the brakes off him. And he's a little Tupac-looking motherfucker. Bald head, old mustache, goatee, little motherfucker. You know what I mean? They washed him. I'm talking about washed him. As they should. You know, he violated them. They ain't have time to know why he did what he did. They just say, oh, shit. They ain't ask no questions. So by the time the smoke did clear and everybody knew what happened, the Muslims kind of gave him a pass. The older Muslims, the adult ones, was like, you know what, yo, you violent, but they see he was young. The older Muslim dudes, they done been up north, they been around, they, you know what I mean, they know he violated, but they also probably considered a lot of other factors, like, damn, this dude just came through after kill. He probably knew Shorty Brooklyn was there, you know what I mean, because he ain't waste no time, literally. He wasn't even on the island a week. The same week he got there, he was taking the Shahada. So the Muslims, you know, they kind of like, you know, weighed and judging. The older Muslims like, you know, that shit is over. Don't even worry about it. Here we got his ass whipped, stomped out. You know what I'm saying? He came up out of that, though. He got stomped out by the old Mars jail, but he came up out of that. Fucked up, though, but he came up out of that. And so it was supposed to have been over. All right, cool. This is maybe like a couple weeks later. Like I said, I'm in a Bing, doing 30 days in a Bing. I remember Papa Jock, he being on a window. Rest in power, PJ. But he on the window. His side of the, we in one lower. He could see the Bing yard. I mean, he could see the population yard. I was on the other side. I couldn't see the population yard from my window. And I hear dudes, you know, I'm laying back in my bed. I hear dudes talking out the window to dudes. Every time dudes out there, dudes talking, yelling out the window, yo, send me this, or whatever the fuck. And this was no different until, oh, shit. Yo, son, they wilding out there. Yo, oh, word. I'm like, yo, I get on my gate. What's happening? Yo, son, they wilding. They just tore Shorty Brooklyn up like they, yo. Two Muslim dudes walked up to Shorty Brooklyn. He talking on the wind. He's in the yard talking to dudes in the Bing. He ain't on point. You know what I'm saying? Two Muslim dudes, two adolescent Muslim dudes. One name was Shabazz. I forget the other dude name. Me and him ran into each other in Kaksaki later on down the line, but I forgot his name. So them two walked up on Shorty Brooklyn and they did him filthy. They twisted him like, I'm talking about, that was the first time when I seen him, he had staples in his head. That's the first time I ever seen staples from a razor. He had literally metal shits in his head. I'm like, oh shit, they tore his ass up. You know what I mean? I'm talking about they fired on him crazy. Both of them. You know what I'm saying? So shit popped off in the yard. And some of the peoples was out there. And this was the domino effect. So some of the peoples that fuck with Brooklyn like that roll with Brooklyn, which made some of the other peoples get involved. And now, you know, we hearing about, oh shit, all this shit going on. It wasn't even about Brooklyn, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But the same two dudes that shot up Brooklyn, they end up, you know, getting shot that same day. That same day, as soon as they went back to the house. From the yard, cause they got away with the shooting. Because it was so much shit, they got away with it. They went back to the house that same day. You know what I mean? They got shot, my son Amin, Marcus Garvey, I mean. This is before he wasn't blood at this time. This is before all that blood shit. You know what I'm saying? And also, I believe it was this other dude from around the way named Jamel. I believe Jamel also, it was Amin and Jamel, or Amin and Wise. I can't really recall, but I know, salute to them. They put that work in ASAP. You know what I mean? Soon as they got back to the house, they put that work in. Shot both of them up. So now it's kind of like on now. Ain't really no more talking to be talked about. Nothing. Like, y'all said it was over, and these dudes still did that. And the people, some of the people, not all the people was on board with this shit, but a lot of them was. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even on board. I really didn't get on board with this shit until I came back to the Bang. I got $180 for 180 days, 92 tickets, 90 days a piece for some shit that I didn't personally do. And I was already in my bag about that, and that war was going on at the time, so I was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But I did have an incident or two. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was only serving 30 days in a Bang at that time, but I remember the first time I heard about a kid named Happy from out of Bushwick. Happy was Muslim at the time. And he from like Bushwick, Brooklyn. But he still shot 3 Brooklyn. Well, he shot 2 Brooklyn dudes and a Queen. Well, not just Happy. It was Happy and this kid named Trouble. Trouble later on became Blood. Happy, I heard, later on became Crip. I ain't see Happy since he was Crip, but that's what I heard. But they both was Muslim at the time. And they shot 3. Well, one dude was from Queens, but they thought he was from Brooklyn, so he got shot for no reason, but they shot all 3 of them while they was asleep in the domes in Mar 4, some shit like that. And they got their shit off with that. They shot. That's the first time I ever heard of Happy. You know what I mean? And the crazy shit, years down the line, after we all was cool later on down the line, Happy ended up shooting Trouble. Yo, this shit is crazy. Yo, this shit is Star Wars for real. This shit is crazy. But anyway, getting back to this shit, so they shot 3, and then, you know, it was shots fired from both sides. As far as me personally, well, I seen, hold on. I'm trying to think what happened first, because there's 2 things I want to get into, but I can't recall what happened first. But I know it was one incident. I'm coming in 2 Upper. I'm in 2 Upper already, and I'm coming from a visit. And I spot these, you know, 2 Muslim kids in the hallway. One of them I kind of knew. He thought he was tough or whatever. So I laid for him in the 2 building. I saw them walking behind me. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they walked past, because I'm the 2 building, I backed that thing out on them. Yo, what's up? So at first they was trying to like, oh, but no, yo, what's up? And I backed the thing out on them. One of the Muslims, they didn't want no smoke. The other one, he didn't want no smoke either. But the position where he was at, because he was halfway in the door, he couldn't get away quick enough, like backpedal quick enough. So he threw a kick at me. This was funny shit. This was some funny shit. He threw a kick at me, and I just rugged him up his leg from his calf to his ankle. I ain't never cut nobody in the leg before. You know what I mean? He kicked up out his shoe. I still got his shoe up in my hand. I runs upstairs. He runs away. You know what I mean? And that was that. That was bugged out shit. You know what I mean? But real shit, what a lot of people don't know, this is initially how even me and Tar, that incident that took place in 1 Upper, you know what I mean, is because of that. It's a war between us and y'all. You around me. It's because of that. Germs. He wasn't germs yet. He didn't have that. identity yet. He was still just Ferguson. He was Muslim too. That played a part in what happened between me and him, how that started. On top of that, he had clapped somebody that was people's. And he was Muslim. And he landed in my reach. You know what I'm saying? So those are two different stories where shit get crazy. You know what I mean? But getting back to the Shorty Brooklyn shit or whatever the case may be, he was kind of, by this point, he faded out the story. It's no longer nothing to do with him. I don't even know if he shot anything besides the first dude in the Muslim service. I don't know if he shot anything since then or whatever. But some of the peoples is involved already. And I remember one time during this shit where I actually got a little nick. Didn't need no stitches, didn't even need a Band-Aid. But I got, a little scratched by a dude that, and it's crazy. Anybody who been in prison, sometimes you befriend people that not on your team. Like you got your team, but you might, and just so happen your team, like for instance, let's say Bloods and Crips. Bunch of Bloods, bunch of Crips. But you might got a Blood and a Crip that know each other from the street. So they might make a little side thing like, yo, listen, man, if it go down, you know what I mean, don't turn your gun on me. I won't turn my gun on you, but we already know, it's, and dudes, and that's kind of like what happened between me and this dude. And it wasn't because of him per se. 2 years earlier, I explained in a St. Laz story, shout out to St. Laz, salute to St. Laz, that I did, where I said my first time in the Bing, where I told about a story where I turned in a razor. I gave police a razor to get bailed out the Bing. Dudes was doing that back then. But the police played me. He deaded me on my razor, didn't even let me out the Bing. But I still end up getting out like 4 or 5 punk ass days earlier, which wasn't nothing because I gave up. I could have did that, but it was a dude that was there. He was, at this time, I'm 16, I'm a young dude, but it was a dude that was like a little older. He'd been around a while. And when I told him what happened, he went to the police like, come on, how y'all gonna do that to him, man? Don't do he kind of like spoke up. I didn't mention that part in St. Laz story. Like, it was him that really hollered at the police. And I ended up getting out the Bing, real shit, like 4 or 5 days earlier. But I still felt the way because I gave them my only razor. And this is when I first got to the Bing. So they still beat me, you know what I'm saying? But I still remembered that. So here it is 2 years later. This is 1994 now. I see us literally a splitting image of this dude. They both from Queens. They both tall. I mean, the one from 92, he a little heavier, but it was like identical. You know what I'm saying? I almost thought it was him, but he's a little younger. So this dude happened to be the younger brother of this dude, Kurt. He happened to be the younger brother of a dude that helped me get out the Bing 2 years earlier. So when I asked him, I'm like, yo, man, you happen? He was like, yeah, that's my brother. They both had the same last name and all that. So I would see him here and there. What's up? What's up? Cool. But now by the time I bump heads, he was in a cell directly in front of mine and one lower. It's around the time, like I said, I'm doing 30 days in the Bing. So I'm in and out this shit. You know what I'm saying? The war was just happening. So we kind of made one of them kind of truces. Even though I could have tore him up and he wasn't nowhere on my level, nowhere in my league. But if anything, it wasn't a truce that, yo, we gonna stay away from each other. It was a truce like, yo, bruh, I didn't even think about him getting at me. It wasn't even a thought. It was more so me saying, yo, bruh, when this shit happened, if anything happened and we all around and dudes are swinging them things, I ain't gonna turn my shit on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you that. You know what I'm saying? All right, son, you know, that type of shit. And this is why I don't do that no more. All right, cool. So now, oh, yeah, that incident did happen first. It's coming to me now. I'm going back almost 30 years, 28 years ago. The incident that I said when I cut dude in the leg, right? He was in the yard, but he was in the yard on the other side of the bin yard. He was in the other bin yard. So when I came out there, it was about only the dude Kurt, and it was like 2 other Muslims out there, right? A bunch of Spanish, like 10 Spanish dudes out there, right? And the dude on the other side that I couldn't let, he like, yo, this dude, You know, we talking all kinds of shit to each other. And next thing you know, an incident happened before that, a little bit before that, involving me. But, I'm in the yard. The 3 Muslim dudes, it's like 4 of us in the yard. It's me, this kid, La from Tilden, little K-Bags was in the yard, from 10 Boy. I heard some bad things about him, but it is what it is. I ain't, you know what I mean? That's crazy. I ain't seen him since then, since this story right here. But anyway, who else was out there? And it was somebody else. I know it was 4 of us. It was a bunch of Spanish dudes and these Muslim dudes, right? So you got this dude screaming from the other side of the yard. So all I know is they rushed us. So when they rushed us, the Spanish dude rushed us. So that's how I end up getting a little nick on me. And guess who gave me the nick? Kurt. The same dude that I told him I'm not going to turn my gun on you. Word. And this is the reason why from that point on, it could have been bad. He could have really got me. You know what I'm saying? And real shit, from that point on, we could be cool like a mother, but if you on the other side and we got war with y'all, I'm not taking it. It would have to be extreme circumstances. Like, I got to really, you know what I mean? I'm not even going to say it's just over. Because, I could think of some people in my head right now. I'd be like, nah, I already know, nah. You know what I mean? But we was outnumbered, and the Spanish dudes, this would kind of really made me focus more on them. They got involved in some shit that they had nothing to do with. And I know why they got involved, and I'm going to quickly tell that story. Like a week or so before that, like 2 weeks, like a week or so before that, this is crazy. Somebody had some bug for me in population. So I told them I'll get it. We arranged where all I have to do is be in the Why Me pens in the morning. So when they run the wreck, me and this kid, I got my son La from out of Tilden. Salute to La. I ain't seen him since back then. No, I seen him in Comstock some years later, but me and La, I said, yo, listen, man. I'm act like I sprung my ankle and you gonna carry me. I'm gonna lean on you. They gonna take me to the clinic. And that's how I'm gonna be in the Why Me pens. So we goes to the bin yard, and there's a bunch of Spanish dudes out there. We ain't at war with them at this time, even though they playing themselves with a lot of stupid shit around the building. You know what I mean? And the peoples, you know what I mean? The Brooklyn and Muslim shit should have never happened. It should have never happened. But the people, it was just like, it was almost as if dudes was like, well, the Spanish, the Latin Kings, they're not violating none of the peoples. And that was the narrative. So long as they ain't, but they violating black motherfuckers. And at this time, I've been up north before, so I already saw, you know what I mean? That's a no-go. But this story that I'm about to tell you, I kind of let one pass right in front of my face. And this is why the Spanish, every story links to another story. So I'm in a bin yard with La. You got bunch of Spanish dudes in there. This happened before the incident with the dude Kurt. So we in the yard, just me and him, and another black dude named Cuddy. He was like a Trinidadian or some Caribbean dude, Jamaican or something like that. And he was in there, but I ain't know shorty at the time. I ain't know son. So me and my son staged a little fake injury. I'm acting like my ankle hurt. I got my arm. Yo, my arm. I'm acting like I'm in excruciating pain. So the CO, they about to open up the gate. So as they about to tell me open up the gate, as they opening up the gate, that so Lotta could take, because I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go get this bud. I'm going to go to this wild meat pen. I'm going to be in there all morning. You know what I mean? I hear commotion behind me. I turn around. You got like all the motherfuckers whipping the dude Cuddy. They fucking him up. So now, I'm looking at this shit now. Like I said, man, I already been up top. I already know that's a no-go. Like, I ain't even know, son, but still, I'm watching these motherfuckers jump this black motherfucker. But I'm like, fuck that. I don't know, son. Know what I mean? But it wasn't even really that. It was more so, it's no bud in the house. I'm about to get hit off nicely. You know what I mean? I believe it was Pup that was coming down. I was waiting. All I had to do was go in the wild meat pen. That's it. And we already staged this shit. Like, how I'm going to not all of a sudden be injured. And I'm trying to get this bud. But you hear people screaming out the window. I'm talking about, I heard a CO bitch. It was a voice of a female screaming out the window from, yo, help him. Lotta's like, fucking Lotta, don't let me go, man. Man, fuck that shit, man. I'm not fucking this up. You know what I mean? They gonna fuck around, send me back to my cell. We already got the plans in motion. I'm trying to get this bud. Make a long story short, my plan work, I'm in the wild meat pen. I got the bud. I got what I came for. So I got my bud. I got some bud. Nice bud, too. Cuddy is in the wild meat pen, too, with me. Word. So that's how I really got to talk to this dude. Man, I ain't going to front. A part of it, I felt like shit, though, man. Even though I ain't no son, I felt like shit. I was like, yo, son, make sure you go to the yard tomorrow, man. You know what I'm saying? I even gave him a stick. He got this cousin. I ain't going to front. Cuddy ended up playing himself later on down the line, man. But I started looking out for him. He hooked me up with his cousin. Nice joint, too. Word. She came through and all that. So that's how he kind of like got in. You know what I'm saying? But this is how I first met him. But he ended up playing himself later on down the line in Cacsack. I'm going to tell y'all about this motherfucker, man. Like, how you get shot by a Chinese motherfucker? But that's enough. And don't even, that's another story. Anyway, so where was I? All right. So the Spanish dudes, the next day, sure enough, we all go to the yard. This time I got a couple. Now all the peoples is in one main, so it wasn't that many peoples in one lower. I literally knocked on dudes' cells that I didn't even know. Black dudes, yo, come to the yard, come to the yard, come to the yard. You man, get the fuck out the bed, come to the yard. You know what I'm saying? Cuddy wasn't even, boy, if you don't come, man, come to the yard. You know what I'm saying? Because it was more so about me. I ain't even gonna hold you. It wasn't even no longer about Cuddy, because at the end of the day, I was out there. I heard people scream, yo, help him, but they don't know I had another agenda. And for me, I just didn't feel that was a good look. So I felt like I got to redeem myself. You going to the yard because they jumped you. Come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So we go to the yard, make a long story short, son popped that bottle, and we got it in. No razors. It wasn't that serious for me. But we fucked him up. We fucked him up. Benji was out there. Benji was Nieta at the time. That's my boy later on down the line. Real shit. And we almost got into it in HDM because I didn't, last time I seen him was this incident. Now he in HDM talking about he ain't Ep.2 no more. You know what I mean? I ain't believing, but that's another story. But anyway, yeah, so we got it with them. We got it in with them. You know what I mean? And like I said, normally it would be raises involved, but I was only passing through. And for me, this shit wasn't that serious to me. It wasn't even my drama. You know what I mean? I just said, fuck it, let me get involved in this shit to make up for me just letting you get washed up the day before that. And I don't even know you, plus you just hooked me up with your cousin. You know what I mean? Shorty was nice. So we came out there, we did what we did. You know what I mean? Boom. So now, oh, and the next day, I mean, that same night, police that was working that night, they let a couple of dudes fight one-on-ones and shit, us against them like one-on-one. So it was supposed to be over, but they felt some kind of way still. They still felt some kind of way, which, you know, I didn't give, like I said, I'm passing through. So now when this incident happened later on with the Kurt, it was not too long after that. So obviously they heard this dude beefing in the yard. It was only 4 of us out there. And they used that as an opportunity. Maybe they whispered, yo, listen, let's go. And this dude, that's how this dude was able to get close to me. But he ain't getting nothing off. He got a little scratch, no stitches, no nothing. Nothing like what I did to him. Nothing like what I did to him. Not even a few weeks later, because I ended up leaving the Bing. You know what I mean? I went to 2-Upper. You know what I'm saying? Went back to 2-Upper. You know, I ended up leaving the Bing, and then I came back to the Bing. So, but I'll talk about all that later. But I just wanted to really get into the Brooklyn versus Muslim shit. We was all young. That war should have never happened. And I remember when that shit, when adult dudes was trying to get us to dead it. And I remember not wanting it dead. Not because I had anything against Muslims, but because just being young and dumb and just feeling like that was like a purpose. Like, because I'm, like I said, I'm in a Bing with mad days. It was like recreation for me by this point. What are we going to do after that? You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just our mindsets, you know what I'm saying? A couple of Muslims from that time. I remember this dude named Outlaw. Shout out to him, man. It was a couple of, but them shots got fired both ways, man. And it was a lot of bloodshed off that shit, and that lasted for some years. Even after that beef was dead, even after we started going after the Latin Kings and the Etas, because the whole time while we getting it in with each other, they was playing themselves with black dudes. They wasn't violating none of the peoples, but they was playing themselves. And we was too naive to really realize that shit. And we was turning the guns on each other because at the end of the day, we all black. You know what I'm saying? But we was all young. And we was all dumb. And we all thought that we was smarter than what we was because, you know, when you think back on that shit now, a lot of shit that happened shouldn't have never happened. And a lot of dudes got shot off that Brooklyn versus Muslim shit. You know what I mean? I even inherited drama off that shit that came back later on down the line. But that's the way it was at the time, you know what I mean? And that's 1994, C74, Adolescent building, where we do adolescent shit. And that's to sum it up. But I'm going to continue on with, you know, because like I said, certain stories lead to other stories. And I'm sitting here thinking about, you know, a lot of shit I left out, a lot of shit I didn't mention, because I'm not trying to be long-winded with this story. I'm about to shut this shit off right now, matter of fact. But, yeah, it's a lot of stories that led to this, that came from out of this story, that connect to other stories. And I'm going to share some of it with y'all, you know what I mean, in the near future. You know what I mean? If y'all got any questions, just holler. Specifics, holler. I'm gonna keep it real. That's me anyway. Anyway, this is T-Bone Blast on the checkout with the second episode of Talking That Talk Tuesday. I will see y'all next Tuesday. But in between that, if y'all got anything y'all want me to discuss, holler. Let me know. What's up? Talk to me. That's what we here for. Salute.